Hi, this is Mato. In this video I will show a very instructive Slav defense game. This is the game between Magnus Carlsen and Boris Gelfand that was played in Tal Memorial Tournament in Moscow in 2006. And this is a model game, how black should play Slav defense in this particular variation. When at move 6, white plays knight to h4, hunting down bishop on f5. Let's have a look at the game. Magnus Carlsen had white pieces and he started with d4, d5, c4, c6, knight to f3, knight to f6, knight to c3, pawn takes pawn, and we have Slav defense. a4, preventing b5, black played bishop to f5, and now e3 is the most popular move when white wants to recapture pawn with bishop on c4. Another move is knight to e5 when white wants to recapture pawn with knight, also preparing f3 and e4. But Carlsen played knight to h4, hunting down the bishop. And how should black continue? Well, sometimes black plays e6 if he doesn't mind losing bishop and having double pawns, but not every Slav player likes this variation. So sometimes even bishop to c8 was played, and after knight to f3, bishop to f5 position can be repeated. Also, bishop to d7 is sometimes played. When knight to f3 or even e3 is played, then b5. And what else? Bishop to g6, but then knight takes bishop, and that is what white wanted. What else? Well, bishop to e6 can be played, but then bishop is blocking pawn on e7. And what did Boris play in this position? He played bishop to g4, preventing e3. Carlsen played h3, bishop to h5, g4, bishop to g6, and Carlsen got the bishop, but the cost is weakening of his king side. e3, e6, bishop takes pawn, bishop to b4, pinning knight, and it is white to move. In this position, queen to f3 is seen quite often, and also bishop to d2. But some analysts believe that Carlsen thought that there was a home preparation and he wanted to avoid it. He played bishop to f1. The idea is to play bishop to g2 and to castle. It's all good, but now black has time too to develop his pieces. Queen to d5 is attacking rook. Carlsen had to waste a move. f3 was played. Queen to a5, attacking knight. Bishop to g2. So Carlsen ignored the threat, and c5 was played instead of winning the pawn. What happens if Boris is greedy and takes that knight? Pawn takes bishop, check, bishop to d2, queen to c4. This is just one possible variation to show you how white can continue. And white is doing very well. So in the game, c5, attacking pawn on d4 and making room for knight to come to c6. Pawn takes pawn, and Boris is not in a hurry to capture pawn. He developed his knight, and after castling, he still didn't capture pawn. He castled too. f4 is bringing bishop in the game, and only now Boris captured on c5. g5, attacking knight, and Boris didn't move his knight. He first attacked queen But this is excellent position for black rook. Queen to e2, and now he captured knight on c3. Pawn takes bishop, and knight to d5. So what did white achieve? He has two bishops against two knights, and quite often that can be an advantage. But this pawn structure is not exactly very good for bishop pair. Queen to b5. Looks like that Magnus wanted to exchange queens. Boris captured on c3. There is no time to take pawn on b7 because queen takes rook. So if queen takes on b7, queen takes on a1. So rook to b1 was played. Now, not defending on b7, but setting a trap. Knight from d to b4. And if queen takes, then rook from a to b8, and after queen to c7, knight to d5 attacking queen. There is also discovered attack on the rook. If bishop takes, which is a logical move, rook takes rook, and after queen takes on c6, rook takes bishop, queen takes queen, rook takes queen, and black is better. That's why instead of taking pawn, which was poisoned, Carlsen played queen to e2, rook from a to c8, bishop to e4, taking c2 away from knight, knight to a5, bishop to b2 attacking queen, queen to c4. What happens if queen takes queen? If queen takes queen, then knight takes on c4 and black is okay. So white played queen to g2 attacking pawn together with bishop on b7, and now knight to b3, bishop takes on b7, but now there is invasion on the second rank. Rook is attacking queen, queen to f3, rook from c to d8, bishop to e5, knight to c5 attacking bishop on b7, rook from b to c1 attacking queen, knight to c2, bishop to c6, and in this position Gelfand had knight to b3 attacking rook. He played a6, that is taking away b5 from bishop, rook to f2, knight to b3 attacking rook. If rook takes rook, then knight takes attacking queen, and after queen to g2, queen to d3, and black is still better. In the game, rook from c to f1 was played, knight to b4 attacking bishop, queen to e4, Gelfand captured bishop, and Carlsen captured knight on b4. Rook takes rook, rook takes rook, queen to c1 check, king to g2, queen takes on e3. White has very difficult position. He played queen to b7. That is probably designed for this variation. If rook goes to d3, then queen to f3. But instead of rook to d3, knight to d2. Threat is knight to e4. And in this position, Magnus Carlsen resigned. You can try to find the defense for white, but there is a reason why he resigned. I can only show you one variation to see what is going on. Let's say that queen takes pawn on a6. Then knight to e4, attacking rook. Rook must stay on second rank, otherwise rook to d2 check. Let's say rook goes to b2. You can find different moves. Then check, king to h1, check. Well, that's funny move, isn't it? And then rook takes on f1. That's why Magnus Carlsen resigned at move 38. And in this video you have seen